Hello, good evening and welcome. Well, it might be evening, might be daytime, you know. And as promised for this DMC, Diecast Modelers Community build, I said I was going to be throwing a curveball, and curveball it is indeed. It's a 1940s vintage World War II Spotlight toy. Searchlight toy, and as we can see it's been seen better days. It's damned heavy, it's actually cast iron and brass, stuff like that is missing parts. It's missing the lens and the wheel to turn it, so there's nothing like that available, so I've had to make my own. I made the lens out of a watch glass. And here we're stripping it down into most of its basic components. Some are left alone because it'd have been awkward to strip, but as much as I could was stripped off. And you can see underneath it's an absolutely solid piece of work. And it's simple, but well, I say simple, I've had to alter things. Like the bulbs are no longer made for it, so I've had to alter the holder to take a new holder. You'll see it later, so I could use a LED light in it. And here, by the way, if I didn't mention it, the company it was made by was called ASTRA. Or the toy's called ASTRA. It should have a red badge on the rear of the spotlight, but it was either painted over, because this should have been dark green, but somebody had painted it over with hammered enamel light green. I did try spraying it dark green, but it wasn't successful. It reacted with a silver I used for the actual spotlight frame, so I ended up using a dark hammered enamel, which actually suits it better than the colour I was doing it. And anyway, here I'm putting on second coat of hammerite to get the final bits of paint off it. And we're starting to get somewhere, getting it nicely cleaned. I actually washed it off in the sink once we were done. And here I'm just wire brushing a lot of the rough. The insides, never get all of it, because I weren't going to do that compressed joint, the joint, the bottom and the spotlight frame on with, but get it as clean as I can, as much as I am going to be doing. Oh yeah, they did a few different versions of this model. They did one without the base on a truck. That looks really good. I very nearly bought one of them as well, but it needed a lot of restorations and it had tyres that I won't probably be able to get. I'll probably have to replace some of the others. And here I was using polishes, etc. to clean up the brack on the searchlight frame. And I'm using that crappy metal polish. Ended up using Solvo because it don't touch it. And here I'm throwing on some primer. It's etching primer, for those of you that need to know. And that's after I sprayed it a dark green. I didn't like the dark green, so I used some dark green hammered enamel I bought, and it actually makes it look quite tidy. It's actually quite nicer than I thought it'd be. And also I thought hammered enamel matches the age of the item better. It should have been just a dark plain like British racing green. But hey ho, I decided on that colour. And as I say, it does look good. Anyway, here I had to buy a few watch glasses till I got the right circumference for it. I'd have been so much better measuring it. But luckily I had them anyway, because I needed something as a pattern to scribe round. And here I've got my jeweller's saw out, cutting them out to the sheet brass. Quite a quick process really. And on the way round I needed 2 of them, because the idea was I sandwiched a washer in between them, and it actually sandwiches a wheel that you turn round to turn the searchlight, tilt the searchlight. You'll see it when it's on. The actual part was missing. Somebody's lost it over the years. I'm not exactly how the part was, but I'm not so damn far off it. And here I'm just filing to the rough round shape, get it to near enough to the line. And what I've done here, I've scribed to find the centre. Then I've centre popped it. I centre popped both of them and drilled both of them. You'll see me drilling it any second. Forget me big fat hoof out the way. And there we go. Just drilling the centre. And there we go, ×2. And then I bolted them together, put them in my poor man's lathe, and just did the final tidying up with a file. There are bits where it's not perfect, but hey ho. And at this point, on one of them, I needed a cutout, and you put it basically in the stowing area where the light would be stored, with a glass down, I presume. And it's so the turning wheel can be pulled out and engaged. You'll understand it better when you see it on the actual searchlight. It's a clever little mechanism, really. There, I weren't quite happy with it, so he were going a bit slow with the Dremel and sanding disc, so I had a bit of a saw. And here I'm altering the bulb holder, because I could no longer get the bulbs for it. I altered it so I could fit a LED bulb holder inside the bulb holder, then reassembled it, and all was tickety-bee. I had to drill it out to the right diameter here to fit the new LED bulb holder inside it. First bit, it snatched that bit. I get all the way through. Happy days. Eventually I get all the way through anyway. There we are. And here I'm just soldering the live wire to it. It's a fairly easy principle they used. The body of the item, earth's the bulb holder, and the live is so I'm just putting shrink wrap on the live, and the live is separate in the middle, touch in the middle of the bulb. The outside of the bulb is earthed to the actual main body of it. One of the terminals of the battery is earthed, which has a screw on it for your on and off, which you'll see you had me operate after. Here I'm putting the rail back on after polishing it. And here we go, the switch, it screws on, and that earths the battery to the actual body. Anyway, here's where we started. A beaten up and battered old type place searchlight from World War II. Seen better days over the years, and here's where we finished up. A really nicely finished looking, working again, with parts renewed on it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers, and bye for now. See you in my next video.